Good afternoon, and welcome to Ole Talk United. On a nice, well, somewhat, stormy Sunday. We are here to talk about the game on the weekend, and to even discuss some other games that happened over the weekend. And I am here with President Shad, the man who disappeared for a whole season, now reappeared. President Chad, where have you been? Where have you been, President Chad?
Yeah, I was missing in action for a little bit. I was missing in action for a little bit. But we always working behind the scenes to try to put things together
Right.
to produce a better show. And I'm looking forward to. I've been working on getting some special guests. People will
Right.
be seeing that reveal coming close to the end of the transfer window. No, we don't have much time again. So
Right.
keep tuned to the United Hour, and you're
Right.
gonna be seeing some special guests and some special stuff taking place on the channel for this season.
All right. Very good. We are having some slight audio issues. So if you guys are hearing it a little low, we apologize from before, but we are trying to sort it out while we are in the show. But let's get on with the program. We will go first of all to the game. It seems like we are back to reality, back to life. Brighton 2, Manchester 1. We lost the game to some hijinks, some somewhat bad calls, some dodgy calls, some horrific defending. But let's all get into the game now. Chad, you talk to me about your reaction to the first half, especially the first goal by this man, this guy right here, Danny Welbeck. This guy has been a, a thorn in our side since he has left our team. This guy cannot stop scoring against us. He can't. I don't understand. This guy is very, very unloyal. You're an unloyal guy. Um, I don't understand, but
Well,
I can't blame him.
um,
So it's perfect defending.
you 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 may consider him to be unloyal,
Uh-huh.
but you know the reality of it is that he we sold him, and we
Yeah.
sold him to a rival. I think when at the time when we sold him, we considered it good business. We
Mm-hmm.
sold him to Arsenal.
Mm-hmm.
And he became a little bit of a journeyman, spent time in Arsenal, spent time wherever he ended up at Brighton now. And I'm glad for him. I mean, he didn't celebrate the goal, didn't run around and slide on
No.
the floor, and
No.
So I think, I mean, young man grew up in the Manchester area.
Mm-hmm.
So, I kudos to Welbeck.
Mm-hmm.
Um, it was a decent goal. It should have been cleared before the cross. Maguire should have dealt with the ball before it went across. But it is what it is. Overall, the first half of football was good. They talk about the game being a game of fine margins. I've never seen a game with such fine margins as this one.
Yeah.
Because right after their goal, we could have been ahead if it wasn't for a marginal offside. It was offside. I ain't saying it wasn't offside. It was offside, but it wasn't like a yard. You know what I mean? So we could have been back in it. Our goal that would have won the game for us in the second half, again, was marginal. If that ball had hit Xerxes' knee and he was in the goal over the line, it would not matter. But
Right.
it hits him on the line, right? So offside.
Mm-hmm.
So it's a game of fine margins, and defensively, and I've seen it happen to us before in close games where we so focused on getting back the ball and going up the road to try to score, that we leave people open when we attack. And I think it's something, the team needs to keep its shape and its defensive discipline regardless of what phase of play. Whether it's 1-1, whether we 1-0 down, whether it's the 90th minute or the 16th minute, we should not just defensively crumble at the end of a game because we're so focused on getting back the ball and running up the road to score. I know you asked about the first half and I'm talking about the whole game, but I just say it as it comes. The pressing was good. The pressing looked good. I was impressed with the press. I'm overall impressed with the ball control. Again, we're talking about final margins across from the low that Ahmad should have buried in the first half. If he had buried that, we would have been up 1-0. You know what I mean? It would not have been them up. We would have been up. And that was an easy finish. Wasn't the easiest of finish, but it was an easy finish. And Ahmad didn't handle it. So it's one of those you just had to take it on the chin. I could honestly say, to me, we should have won that game. We should have scored. We should have outscored. Even if they scored, we should have outscored them. And I think if we scored, we would have played with more control in the game. The overall improvements that I've seen from Manchester United so far, last season, we were conceding something like 18 to 20 chances a game. It didn't matter if we were playing a top-tier team or we were playing a relegation-bound team. We were conceding real chances, right? Real shots. This season, it is down to under 10. Matter of fact, around 8, under 8. And Brighton is no slouch team. Fulham is no slouch team. These are two teams that will be in the top half. Both of them will finish above 10. Right? Even in the preseason when we played Liverpool and whatever, we had reduced. You could see the team had reduced the amount of. So that gaping hole in our midfield that was there at the beginning of that throughout most of the season last season, that clearly is not there. We still have some work to do in the transfer window. Who knows? It might get even better. So I'm pleased. You can never be pleased with a loss, but I'm pleased with the improvements that I've seen with the team. I've seen improvements with the team, and that makes me happy. It makes me feel good about going forward. My biggest concern in this game, it showed itself, and it has shown itself before, is who's going to score the goals. I think United is going to keep a lot of clean sheets. I think we're going to concede a lot less goals, without a doubt. I am very confident of that. The problem for me is who is going to score the goals. Last year, we had a goal difference of 1 or 0 or something at the end of the season, something ridiculous like that.
Very good.
And my concern is who is going to score the goals. We need, if we go out there and we score 2 goals every game, I don't think we'll lose a game for the season. Even when we play the likes of Arsenal or Liverpool or City, I don't think none of these teams are going to be hitting us 3 goals. And if any team going to be hitting us 3 goals, that ain't happening more than once or twice for the season. If we could go out there and score 2 goals every game, we finishing in the top 4 for sure, and we pushing for the title. But right now, let me ask you a question, Robert. Right now, when you look at Manchester United, you feel we could go and score 3 goals? 2 goals, sorry. Yep, 2. 2 goals a game. You feel we could guarantee score 2 goals a game right now?
Nope, we can't, because again, we have a problem with people who can't score. We don't have a recognized striker. Our midfield is kind of weird. I don't see where the goals are coming from. I just don't see it. I do not see it. I don't know where it will come from. Now that leads to my next point. Is Ten Hag doing the right thing with this false 9 double weird thing with Bruno and Mason Mount on top? Does that make sense to you? Because to me, it makes no sense. We actually have a striker in Xerxes who scored a goal in his first game. We went back again to this double pivot weird thing with Mason Mount and Bruno Fernandes. And to me, it doesn't work. I mean, does it work for you? Because to me, it does not work at all. At all.
All right. So I don't want to say a different take, but I have a take on that. And is this. Let me ask you a question. Yes or no question. Have you been very impressed with the press? Especially in the first half?
Somewhat yes. Somewhat yes. Yeah.
Yes, I hear you.
Yeah, yes.
Right. You've been impressed with the press. And I think all of us have seen where we have taken the ball, where we have controlled the game. We have made it difficult for everybody. Even when we played Liverpool in the offseason, it wasn't easy for Liverpool to come out, to play out, right? Next we play in Liverpool, so we'll see how that goes in the new season, right? In the preseason, sorry. The press has caused problems.
Right.
I think, obviously, you have Ten Hag, you have Van Nistelrooy. I think Xerxes doesn't give you the kind of press that Holland does.
Right.
We know Holland is a good presser. And I think they're pursuing with this false nine. They may change it. Simply because Xerxes may not be efficient as at the press as Mount. Mount has not been stellar with the ball, but with all the ball, Mount has been immense. Mount is running, he's like an energizer bunny, right? By no means is he my favorite player, but I'll give Jack the jacket. With all the ball, Mason Mount has been working very, very hard. Right? We know Bruno Fernandes long time works very, very hard. These guys have been working hard and they have made the press work, and we press well as a team now versus before. Putting in a striker that is not going to be as effective is going to change the way we start games. We like how we look when we start now. What we don't like is that when Mason Mount or Bruno Fernandes get chances to bury, they miss them.
Yeah, they miss.
Right? We don't like that. We don't like the finishing, but we like the other things. But if you change that player, you may get better finishing, hopefully, but you may not get as much as the other things. So some of the chances that are created from the press, somebody we win back the ball very quickly. Some of the opportunities that are created because of the press may be lost. So it's not an easy, can I say, is it working in the press? Yes. As far as scoring goals, no. So it is not an easy fix. I understand Ten Hag's challenge. Obviously, if our number one striker was fit, he would be starting. Right? He would be starting. It's not a question of, well, why? And the striker we have, he's not, when you look at him, he don't look overweight. But from what I've heard, he's a little chunky. Right? He had to get a little lean, and he had to get up to speed. What he thinks you don't want, let's imagine we start with Xerxes. And right now, he can't give us 90 minutes. Let's just imagine that, right? Because we're not really sure of his fitness. But from what I'm hearing, let's just say that. Would you want to start a game with Xerxes, and then you need goals to win, or to put away a game in the second half, and you had to take him off and bring on Mount? Is that something that would appeal to you? I don't think it would appeal to me. Right? So, under the present circumstance, we had to start with who we had to start with. You know what I mean? Like, we had to play him out until Xerxes come up to speed. And so, I as much as that is my concern, where the goal's going to come from.
Yes.
Because if we had a striker in front there, we would be finishing games in the first half. I believe that. So far, based on the first two games, we have made sitters, and guys have just missed because they're not finishers. Correct. So we caught between a rock and a hard place, but I don't think Ten Hag could afford to not play him. I expect because of the problems that Liverpool poses, we may do this false nine one more time, just to try to dominate the midfield. To try, but as well as we may not. But Xerxes gonna have to step up. He's gonna have to step up. Yeah. And even though Mount hasn't played badly, he's just gonna have to get dropped. That's just the reality of it. He's just gonna have to get dropped.
Definitely. Before we go on, let me go through some of these comments. Right. Zahir, yes. Look, Chad. Very, very, very true. Chad is here. If not an illusion, Chad is really here. You understand? Zahir is saying, which is Sel McTonald. We should. Oh, and okay, Sel McTominay and sign Chad. No. No, because Chad can't play football.
I might be able to jump as high as McTominay, but I'll put in a shift. I'll put in a shift.
Yeah, you know what I mean? Martin Phillip, good afternoon. Siraj is saying very poor performance. And
I like this comment. I like this comment. This comment here encapsulates the first two games. You understand? One game,
yeah,
it worked. Next game, not so much.
It didn't work. You understand? It didn't work. That is correct. That has been, I think, the thing of us. I'm not too sure what is going on, but if it's one thing, I mean, I have to say, I'm not panicking, right? Because I always say don't panic. But our fans, how some people are. One win, and guys were saying, online, they were very reckless, saying we are going to win the league, we top the league. Then the same guys had to come now the week after and say, well, we lost. So I'm just saying, people, just take each game as it comes. Now I will talk again about this guy, Ahmad. This guy to me needs to start. He did start yesterday, and we saw the result. I mean, to me, he was very direct. He was taking on guys. I think in this game he was a little bit timid, in what he was doing. However, when he did take his chance, you saw the result. Ahmad came and it was 1-1. And this is where I thought that we would have kicked on and really put our foot on the gas and really and truly try and get forward. Have you been impressed with Ahmad? I mean, how do you think Ahmad has come on, and where do you see him going for the next couple of games?
Yeah, Ahmad has been impressive. He was impressive in the preseason, and he maintained that, and that is important. The one thing I see Ahmad doing is keeping Anthony on the bench, because every time Garnacho comes off the bench, he gives us a spark.
All right.
So the question we talking about Xerxes, but the question that we need to ask is also, when is Garnacho going to start starting games? Now, there is that strategy to keep your live wire on the bench to come on in games, right? Garnacho is a live wire, and we have been starting games well. So it is a strategy, if you have enough quality in your starting 11 that you can keep a live wire like Garnacho and bring him on. Because he definitely brings something on when he comes on. But let's say, for argument's sake, that we're going to starting Garnacho. Remember, he came late. He was one of the players that came very late from the international break, playing with winning Copa America with Argentina. So let's just say, for argument's sake, that Garnacho is going to start at some point. The question then becomes, who goes to the bench? You have Rashford and you have
Well,
Ahmad.
no, Rashford.
And I agree with you. Right now, based on form, Rashford is the man that going to go to the bench.
Because we will
So,
come to him later on, yes. Don't
you
worry.
know, no, will Ten Hag do that? That's a big call to make, right?
Mm,
I don't think I wouldn't go as far as to say no. I don't think so. But that's still a big call to make. That's the kind of
mm,
decision that CEOs and directors of footballers be calling your phone.
mm-hmm.
Like, hey, where's this guy here? Rashford on the bench for the team sheet. And we
Yes.
may think that's not going to happen. That's a big deal.
Mm-hmm.
People have to understand. To the hardcore fans, we like the Martinez and we like his grit. And we like, there are people we like. We like the Bruno Fernandezes. But the face of Manchester United is Bruno Fernandes and Marcus Rashford.
Yes.
Those are the faces at the Manchester United right now.
Yes.
And it is never comfortable for an organization when the face of the organization say no on the bench.
Mm-hmm.
We need to be real. No, sometimes we just think, well, it's only football. Football have
No.
politics in it. It's a real thing, right? So that's not an easy call. Has he made hard calls before? Yes. He put Ronaldo on the bench. I don't think it'll be hard for him to put Rashford on the bench if Rashford not playing for well.
Mm.
But Ahmad has been doing well. He has been keeping Anthony away from doing hula hoops on the pitch,
Mm.
and I'm all glad for that. But if Garnacho has to start, we have a serious question to answer.
Mm.
Who bench him?
Yeah.
Right? Right now, with Garnacho getting up to speed, that's an easy question.
Mm.
Whoever not playing good, you drop them. So during
Right.
this game, he dropped Rashford. During the
Mm.
last game, he took off our man.
Mm.
Right? It's easy right now. But if Garnacho is to start, are we going to see Ahmad starting all the time?
Mm.
I don't know. But right now,
Mm.
Ahmad is doing the business. I would have liked it if he scored the sitter earlier. But
Yeah.
one of the things I like most about Ahmad, let me just mention it quickly, is he has a way he does be on the top, on the corner of the box. And he'll have a defender in front of him, and he'll have a next defender on this side. Right? He'll have a defender in front of him and a next defender coming in on the next side. And he holds that ball and waits for the opportunity and cuts into the box between the two players. He does it consistently. If you want, he does it all the time.
Mm.
Instead of just going long to the corner or passing the ball back out, he causes defenses to collapse.
Mm.
Because when you cut between two defenders and you get into the box, the next
Yeah.
man now, who most likely is marking your number 9, he have to come to you. He can't leave you in that space.
Mm.
Right? You just bypass 2 men and you coming into the box. So it causes chaos. Marcus tries to cause chaos every game and it fails. He never beats the man. He loses the ball. He falls on the ball. Something happens, but it never works. He attempts it. It don't work.
Mm.
Ahmad does it. Garnacho does it. When Garnacho comes in, he causes chaos in the defense, right? Because he just dribbles the ball 6 feet and his dribbles work. Ahmad does it. When he decides to take on men, he takes guys on and he causes problems, real problems. So right now, for me, he benching Anthony and he might be benching Rashford just now.
Yeah.
That's my thought.
Yeah, I mean, I agree. I agree because to me, Ahmad has shown enough to keep Rashford on the bench. And I do agree also that I think the natural is just time for him to come good. You know, because again, like you said, he did come from the Copa late. So I know Ten Hag has a history of taking his time to breed people into the team. And I think that is why we are not seeing Zuxi right now. You're not seeing Dillet, you know, because I think he's keeping these guys fit. Because he understands we have a real sickness when it comes to injuries. You know, we have a real problem. We have a real juju. There is a juju on our club, right? With injuries. I don't know where we're gonna go. We need to find someone to take that bone from under the pitch, whatever it is, take it out. Because we have a history of injuries and they are never nice. It's always 3 weeks, 4 weeks, 3 months, you know. Now, I'm gonna go to the last part, to the I guess to the end of the game, right? And this is where I'll get into my next segment, which is our lowlights. Now, this is the 89th minute, I believe, right? And we conceded in 89th minutes. That it was an extremely hard goal to concede, and a very, very hard goal. But I have to talk, right? I have to talk about the absolute comical defending that is Manchester United defending. How can this be us? This can't be us. This can't be real. This is the 95th minute, and this is what's going on. You know, the guy is absolutely clear in our box. Clear. No one sees him. Nobody. Nobody sees this guy in a blue and white kit. No one. Now, I know I saw it, and I know, and it made me sick. I got very upset. I almost did say Ten Hag out. I almost said Harry Maguire out. Sandro Martinez out. The whole team out.
Yeah, well, Maguire wasn't on the pitch any time. That was the lit.
I
Remember
know,
the
but
sub off Maguire?
I didn't care. It was always his fault. Everything is his fault. Everything is Harry's fault. Everything is Harry's fault. Everything. Doesn't matter. Amongst my toe is Harry's fault. All right?
True. Mhm.
Yeah. But this was a very stark reminder of last season. And I thought that this season we would have gone past these schoolboy errors. But
Well,
we have not.
well, I rather this happen now
Mhm,
because to me, what this is just a lack of discipline.
mhm,
You're losing a game. Well, it wasn't we were losing at the time, but we felt we could have scored. And
mhm,
I've seen this happen before, where we so focused on just trying to get the ball back and run up the road. I can't remember which game it was. There was some game we were chasing the end of last season.
mhm,
And the guys, we ended up losing the ball, and the guys had an easy break to run down and score because
mhm.
no, the whole defense was just upset
Yes.
because everybody was up,
Mhm,
you know? And it just speaks to discipline. End of game discipline, specifically, not discipline, overall discipline in the game, but
mhm,
end of game discipline when we down.
mhm.
You know, we know, let's be real, we know famously Sir Alex Ferguson playing five strikers. It
Yes.
is not like Manchester United are averse to taking risk.
Mhm,
We are a team that sometimes will just throw caution to the wind and run it down because we want to win. We don't
yes.
settle for no draw,
No.
right? So from that standpoint, I can understand because the thing is when you play risky football like that, these things happen.
Yes.
These things happen, right? So, but it is good because it is easy. It is
Mhm,
easy to go in today. Well, not today. They will be off today, but it will be very easy to go in the team meeting on Monday and push that up on the board and say, "Fellas, what's this?
mhm,
What is this?" You know what I mean?
mhm,
This cannot be it, right? Whether
mhm.
it's 90th minute or not, this is
No.
unacceptable. So
Mhm,
I don't expect really to see that again for
mhm,
the rest of the season
mhm.
because I think, I think it's supposed to roll because that really is not good look. That's
Yeah.
real poor discipline. But
Mhm,
because of the phase of play, because of this place in the game, I understand. If something like that happened in the 20th minute, or in the
Yeah.
60th minute, I would have been like, what the heck?
Mm,
That's, I would have been going crazy. I could get
mm,
it. But 90th minute, you're trying to run down the game.
mm.
Sometimes discipline, falls off. For professionals, it shouldn't, but it happens. I'm not really that upset about it. Upset we lost, but sometimes what has happened sometimes.
All right. Well, fair enough. Let me go through some of these comments here. Siraj is saying can't score one. I mean,
Man, if we can't score one, I
can't
hope that
score.
is not reference to when I was asking if we could score 2 goals a game.
Yeah, had to be, had to be. Um, yes, I can understand that the Rashi out. Very, very true. Me- I cannot. I can't. I can't defend it. I really can't defend this. I mean, I can't. I can't say you're wrong. I cannot say you're wrong. I can't say you're wrong at all. Wayne Davis saying Ten Hag don't like putting in new players into the game right away. Yes, that is true. That is very true. Um,
True, true.
yeah,
I mean, he did it with the right back and with the lit.
yeah,
But I think, as I said, the issue with Xerxes is that Xerxes is not 100% right fit. Right,
no.
match fit. The lit and as well, them fellas come back and them fellas was ready to go.
Mm-hmm.
Things Xerxes need a little work.
Yeah, definitely. Martin Phillip is saying I would take Ten Hag to integrate some of the young players. That is true. I think that is something that will come with
Imagine how much more young players you want, boy. We are Mano, we are the
mm,
Nacho. The only
mm,
other young player I have is Amas, and there's no reason to play Amas when you have two starting
yeah,
players in the low
mm,
and Azuari. I just
yeah. Right.
much more young people we want us to play.
Too much. Too much. That to me is too much. Um, oh, Mark Lewis. Good evening. Yes, good afternoon, Mark Lewis. Um, Work in progress and have you picked correct. Very, very true. And Ahmad has been, yes, he has. And he does deserve better. Yes, he does. He does deserve better. And Courtney is saying good afternoon. Good afternoon, Courtney. You know, Now I have to talk to you, right, about some about the lowlights of the game. Right, these are my lowlights of the game. One, Mason Mount once again injured. Once again, this guy is our number 7. He is wearing the number 7 jersey. Correct me if I'm wrong. This man has even scored 7 goals, but he's wearing the 7 jersey. Why? 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 You try to tell me why is it that this man is wearing this jersey? Because I don't get it. He's never here. He is worse than
You know,
uh, a deadbeat father. Never around.
as far as if there was one good thing I thought for Ronaldo coming back to the club, apart from just the general euphoria, just
Mm,
the the a proper goodbye. When he went to Real Madrid, it didn't feel right.
you're right.
This time when he left, even though some people like, oh, Tana, push him out and cry babies and them. To me,
Mm,
this time it felt like a proper goodbye. We got a little taste and Ronaldo magic
you're right.
and a little nostalgia. So if it was one thing I thought Ronaldo really did positively was
Mm,
to take the jinx of the number 7 jersey.
yes.
And I thought it was a mistake in
Mm,
giving it to an unproven player so fast.
yes.
I would have rather that we left the number 7 vacant. And if at all we were to give it to somebody, I would have rather give it to Ganacho.
Mm,
Because Ganacho was showing himself. And when I say give it to Garnacho, I don't mean last season.
Yeah.
I mean in this season. He was showing himself as a big game player. He was showing himself as a young person that has been progressing season after season from the youth, right? Winning the FA Cup for us, the youth FA Cup for us, and then progressing onwards into the senior team. Other than that, the number 7 should have been rested. My problem is not Mason Mount so much as a player. I have seen Mason Mount put Chelsea on his back and take them to a Champions League when they really were 10th in the league or something like that. Had no reason being there. I have seen Mason Mount play well. We haven't seen that version of him yet, but he's still young. So I don't have a problem so much with him being at the club. I would like to see the version of Mason Mount, the best version that we saw at Chelsea. I would like to see that. But my big challenge is really the number 7 jersey. It might seem trivial to most people, but your jersey number matters. And clearly the pressure of the number 7 is Mason Mount not living up to it right now.
No.
He's not. So from that perspective, I can't argue with anything that you've said. But that's my thoughts. As a player, he's all right. I expect him to get better.
All right.
I hope he doesn't end up like Van der Beek.
Yeah.
I hope he don't end up like a Van der Beek. That would be that would be a disaster.
Yeah.
That's on the cusp of the club and never really showing the great immense talent, and then end up leaving in a kind of semi-disgrace kind of thing. And I hope it doesn't dissolve into that. But but right now, Manchester United is the B team, the English B team.
Yeah.
You have men like Harry Maguire, you have Mason Mount, you have Marcus Rashford. You have players that have all featured for England. And I don't mean they just get called up. I mean, them fellas was in the starting 11 regular. Regular players for England. Regular on the team sheet. And now, for the last tournament, none of them can get called.
No.
And we could even include, even though I don't expect him to be with us for that long, we could even include Jadon Sancho.
Yeah.
Right? Manchester United right now is the English B team. And them fellas need to step up the game to the A game. Because if they keep playing like English B players, I don't think we'll want them at Manchester United very long.
No.
We want to show them the door. So Mount, like Marcus, had to step up. Out of all of them players, I think people would least have expected to step up is the man who doing it, and that is Maguire.
Yeah.
I don't think if you had listed Rashford, Mount, Maguire, Sancho, which of these 4 players do you expect to excel in the end of last season into the beginning of this season? I don't think anybody was going to say Maguire.
No.
You know what I mean? Nobody was going to say, yeah, that guy, he's going to be the best out of the 4. But he has been the most consistent, and he has stepped up. So the other 3 or 2, assuming that Sancho not going to be with us, but let's have to do something with itself.
All right. Fair enough. Talk to me about Sancho. Now, as far as things are concerned, Napoli is buying Scott for 30 million plus add-ons, right? Well, according to reports. But he has been playing in the team, even though he has been for sale. Jadon Sancho, right, has not been in the team. Do you think that a game like yesterday, we could have used Sancho in that false 9 instead of say Mason Mount?
I hear a question, but this is what I had to say about Sancho. When Ten Hag came out and said he apologized behind closed doors and everything is good and all is well,
Mhm.
that was a lie.
Right.
And when I say that was a lie, I don't just mean from the manager standpoint.
Mm.
The upper management, nobody at Manchester United is interested in seeing Jadon Sancho play for Manchester United this season,
Right.
including Jadon Sancho himself.
Mhm.
If it is one thing that Jadon Sancho and Ten Hag, and at least from what I'm hearing, everybody in the building, all the staff, all the new guys that come in, if it's one thing they all agree on,
Right.
is that this dude should not be wearing a Manchester United uniform, right? They all seem to agree on that. I don't know
Mm.
his with that either. So for all the
Mm.
people who's like, well, if Scott here and we're trading him, play him, why we ain't play Sancho? I have no problem not playing Sancho.
Mhm.
Nobody wants you to be here, right?
Mhm.
There are people in the building who want Scott around to get
Mhm.
Grit or whatever his name is. Ugarte, sorry.
Mhm.
To get Ugarte, we had to sell Scott.
Right.
So for the greater good, Scott had to be moved on. It have
Mhm.
nobody shedding tears, or nobody will be shedding tears when Sancho leaves. Nobody, nobody,
Mhm.
nobody. So Sancho not playing, don't bother me at all.
Right.
Right?
Mhm.
I don't care. Look,
Yeah.
look at Brentford. Brentford best player is Tony.
Yes.
Tony on the bench. Ain't nothing wrong
Mhm.
with him. He's physically
Mhm.
fine. Why they ain't playing him? Right?
Because yeah.
Sometimes you just have to understand you have parted ways with the player. He may still physically be here, but
Mhm.
the relationship has ended.
Right.
United supporters had accept
Mhm.
Sancho is not a factor
Right.
in our existence anymore.
Mhm.
So that is it. It really don't
Yeah.
matter whether he play, whether he didn't play.
Right.
Nothing don't matter. He gone.
Mhm.
He has left the building in spirit. He
Mhm.
just in the building physically. So Jadon Sancho is a non-factor at
Right.
Manchester United right now.
Uh, well.
I rather talk
Uh,
about Greenwood, which we're not going to talk about. But I rather talk about Greenwood than Jadon Sancho. That's the
you know.
reality of it.
I would say one thing. For me personally, I would have played Sancho today. Well, sorry, yesterday, because at the end of the day, you're still here. You use him and you use him until he's gone. That is just me. Because to me, he's here. Use him. It may or may not add his value, but because I mean, he's leaving anyway, right? So for me, just use him until he's gone. And I think it was, especially a game like yesterday. I think it was a small mistake for us not to use him. I get why he is not in the team, right? But if it were up to me, I would have
Well,
still used.
I've heard people with that opinion, and I can't
Mm,
vex with you, and I can't
mhm,
vex with them
mhm.
for having that opinion,
Yeah.
But yesterday,
Uh,
there were a lot of, you used the term as small mistake. Yesterday,
yes.
there were a lot of small mistakes
Yes. Yes.
that turned up, that added up, that
Yes.
compiled it
Yes.
to
Yes.
cause us to lose that game.
Yes.
No mistake in itself individually. You would say, well,
Mhm.
that caused us to lose the game, but just
Yeah.
a compilation of small mistakes
Mhm.
caused the result yesterday. But it is what it is.
Mhm. Mhm. Yeah. And the last low light I want to talk about is Rashford.
You sure you want
What
to know what Rashford, boy?
for like 2 seconds?
I know.
What what are we gonna do with Rashford? Me put To me, I think he has lost his spot. I think against Liverpool, he needs to be on the bench. For Liverpool, I think our front two should be Ganacho and Ahmad. And Rashford needs to be on the bench. That is just
Let me ask you a question.
mhm,
I agree with everything you just said.
mhm,
I agree with you. And people in
mhm,
the comments could say whether they agree or not, right?
mhm.
Whether they think Rashford should be a starter for Manchester United or not, presently, right? And
Right.
present form.
Mhm,
Here is my concern. Here is my problem. Not problem, but my concern is.
Mm-hmm.
If you're down in a game, if you're chasing a game, or if you're chasing a win,
Yeah.
and you as a fancy Marcus Rashford warming up on the sideline,
Yes.
is that gonna fill you with confidence or dread?
You see, I don't know, right? I don't know because you don't know which Marcus you'll get. You don't know. You don't
Okay,
know.
so would you
Right?
be confident, or would you be like, God, boy, nice to be able to bring on Marcus, boy? You hear me?
Well, as it is right now, honestly, we have no options except. But I would rather have Marcus come off the bench than have him start. That's just me.
Well, all
That's,
right, maybe you might get a wish. You might get a wish
mm,
next game.
mm,
It's not like
mm,
Ten Hag never benched Marcus before.
no, I don't
But
know.
my thing is, I could only hope that Van Nistelrooy could rub some of his magic. You know, me, you know, if he still have some of them old boots or old socks, he could go and steep in some hot water and give Marcus something to drink or
Yeah,
something.
yeah, 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 yeah.
Because really, actually, if Marcus was in his 30s, you know, people would have say, well, he only lost a step.
Mm-hmm.
That's how Marcus is playing. Marcus is playing like a player who had it, but he lost that step. But
He
you
did.
just can't say that. Nobody would say that because he's a young player.
Mm-hmm.
He's not an old man.
No.
So, but that's how he is. He plays like he has lost a step. You can see his mind speeding. He taking the ball and he running down the road, and then you will see him try like the other day game. He tried to do a, I don't know what is the term, but you know, you kind of do a twirl on the ball
Yes.
to
Yeah.
twirl between two players. And
Yes.
he
And
twirled between the two players and left the ball there. The two men watching go and was like, hey, let
like
the ball here and take it up and go on.
yeah.
And
Yep.
every game, Marcus
Yes.
does that. Every single game, he will
Yes.
go for a certain beat, and you see what he
And then
wants to do.
and
You
it just
see in
failed.
his brain what he wants to do, and it just doesn't work
Failed.
out. Something else is
Horribly.
happening in reality. So,
Horribly.
you know, if he was old, you would have said, well, yeah, he lost a step, right?
Mm-hmm.
You know,
Mm-hmm.
like how we started to talk about Ronaldo. You know, that was the old Ronaldo. Yeah, he making that header, he scoring that
Yeah.
bicycle coming
Yes.
off.
Correct.
And but Marcus is a young player, so the question becomes, what's the problem?
Mm-hmm.
What's the problem? Is the problem your diet?
I don't know.
Problem your lifestyle?
Mm-hmm.
Is the problem confidence? Is it a mental issue?
Mm-hmm.
Because you're too young to be depreciating so fast,
Correct.
you know? Um, so I don't know what to say about Marcus.
Uh,
I am not sure. Here was my concern. I am not, there's some players, if Bruno was playing tax and you bench Bruno, bet your bottom dollar next game Bruno gonna come out there firing
mm-hmm.
because you know Bruno's mentality. There are some players you tell yourself you bench them and it will stoke something underneath them.
Mm-hmm.
I am not sure that is Marcus. I don't know what will motivate Marcus Rashford. So benching him may be okay. You might bring on a Garnacho, he's going to be more explosive for you. But at some point in time, if you have Marcus and Anthony on the bench and you need a goal, who you bringing on by Robbie? Right? No, you understand? You see the predicament. It's very easy to say I bench him, you know. It's very easy to say that, but the reality is the game still had to play.
Yes.
So
I don't know.
what's going on?
I don't know. I don't know because
the struggle is real. So we had a hope that when Leicester could work some magic and we get a version of Rashford that, you know, forget about the 20 goals a season.
right. Yeah.
If we never get 20 goal Rashford, but we get 15, we could work. At least we know we could work with it. But right now, this 8 goal a season Rashford, nah. We can't work with it. We can't work with it.
What eight? I know
That
eight.
work with his right now at all.
Like four. I think he and Mason Mount on the same goals, right? I mean, I don't know. I think so. I think so. I do. I think so. I don't know. I don't know. But our next game is against Liverpool. What team do you want to see against Liverpool?
Well, I know we're looking to shut it down, so
Mhm.
I'll try to be quick.
Yes.
Harry Maguire has not played badly, but if the lit is up to it, I wouldn't necessarily mind seeing the lit.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously, we can't do anything with the left back and the right back. You got to play the men who fit,
All right.
the
Yeah.
men who played.
Mm-hmm.
It will be very good to see what these fellas could do against Salah
Mm-hmm.
or against Diaz.
Mm-hmm.
We all know what Wan-Bissaka could do.
Mm-hmm.
So let's see what this will be a real test.
Yeah.
This will be a real test to see what these fellas could do against the likes of Mohamed Salah. From a control of the game and a defensive standpoint, I can see the benefit of following the team with midfielders, with playing Mount and playing Bruno Fernandes. I can see that.
Mm-hmm.
The challenge for me is if we do get opportunities against Liverpool, and I think we will,
Mm-hmm.
who win and score them. So if Xerxes comes up to scratch, the change I would like is to see Xerxes up front, start the game.
Mm-hmm.
Drop Rashford and leave Mount. Let's change the whole push Bruno on the right. Leave Ahmad on the left. Sorry.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, put Ahmad on the left. Or Bruno on the left. Because he's used his right foot to cross the ball anyway. So, switch it up a little bit.
All right.
And put Xerxes in front.
Mm-hmm. Well, yeah.
Like that. You're
Yeah.
counting on Xerxes finishing
Mm-hmm.
and Ahmad piece.
Mm-hmm.
And other than that, you're keeping the midfield tight with
Mm-hmm.
Mount and Bruno and the other players. Do I think that is an ideal team? Do I think that is a balanced team? No. But you're playing Liverpool
Yeah.
and you're just trying to stay in the game and you're trying to win. That's it.
All right. Fair enough. I think for me, I think we should just. It's the first game against Liverpool. I think Ten Hag will do the same Mason Mount, Bruno Fernandes double pivot thing again. I do think so. I think as much as I would like to see Marcus on the bench, I know Marcus is a kind of a guy that shows up against Liverpool. He shows up against Arsenal. He shows up, for big games. So I would not want
I hope you're right, Robbie.
Yeah, because
I hope you're right.
he watches history. That's been his history.
Let me just say this. This is not the game to go all out attack. We talk about where the goals coming from. This is not the game to try to score 3 goals. This is not the game where you want to start with Ahmad and Garnacho and Xerxes up front and just go there and say, fellas, we need to score 4 or 5 goals. This is not the game for that.
No.
This is the game you need to be conservative.
Exactly. Yes.
So even though which I talked earlier about Garnacho getting a start. There's not a game for that. There's not a game.
No.
There's not a game for that. And I know taking an attacking player off to start Xerxes and leaving on a Mason Mount, people would consider that a negative move. But is either the team stay how it is,
Yeah.
and Xerxes come off the bench, or if we start Xerxes, an attacking player had to get dropped.
Yes.
This is not a game to drop Mason Mount.
No.
I ain't saying he playing great. He ain't setting the world on fire.
No.
But Mason Mount work rate right now, and his what he giving you off the ball. Mason Mount and Bruno Fernandes need to start the next game. In my opinion.
Yes.
The game is going to be win or lost in the midfield. I watched our Liverpool game today. We need to try to control that game. We need to be a problem. We need to create problems for Liverpool. And in creating problems for Liverpool, if all 11 men not running their heart out and not playing, both defensively and attacking wise.
True.
You know what I mean? So, because our left back and our right back going to need help. I don't think any one of them guys can handle Salah by themselves. So it means somebody had to be falling out of the midfield to help. Somebody had to be locking down Jota. I don't expect Jota to win no header against Martinez or De Ligt or Maguire. But in terms of pace, in terms of running behind, in terms of creating problems in the middle, Jota is a problem. Jota and Diaz and balance problems. So we need men who could handle that business. So I would start pretty much the same team or drop Marcus and bring in Zins.
Yeah.
But I actually would like to see Mount and Bruno start out. For me, this is not the game to go crazy.
No.
Offensively, I mean.
Yes, I mean I agree. Let's go through some of these comments we have on the side here. Courtney is saying, "Be fair to Harry, since he has taken the beating, he has put his head down. That is correct. However, since I've moved back in to the Harry Maguire hate club, I have to blame Harry. It's not fair, it's not right, but it's what it is." Martin Phillip is saying, "I believe Rashford should start against Liverpool and sub at halftime. He can run up and down to keep Liverpool at bay." Yes, I do think so. I think Marcus always does good against big teams. I think he always shows up against big teams. Marcus Lewis, it must be me. It must be okay. So Mark Lewis is saying that he's the problem. All right, Mark. All right, fair enough. Martin is saying that is true. Rashford likes to play against Liverpool and Man City. He does. Courtney, would it be such a problem if with Rashford if he were getting goals elsewhere? That is a question.
No, it would not be if the team was scoring goals and he was producing assists. It would not be a problem at all. But we're not scoring goals, and one of our major goal scorers of the past pooping on himself. So it's a problem now.
Yes.
It is.
And then you see, he's not even giving assists. It's like he's just there. So that's the problem. Dane is saying, "Good day, guys. Good day today." And Martin Phillip, "How should not play? He creates too many mistakes." Yes. However, I would start Harry against Liverpool simply because he played the first two games And I think for continuity and for nothing else, he should start again against Liverpool. Only for continuity. That's it. Um, Greg Gregory B is saying Bruno wide. This is true. It kills his creativity. That is very, very true. Um, put Mount on the right. Now, if Mount goes on the right, what do you do with Ahmad? Does Ahmad still start? Or, I mean, does he go to
No,
some.
I'm out of the start. I'm out of the start. I mean, we are all week to talk
Yeah.
about our game in Liverpool, but Ahmad needs to start.
Mhm. Definitely. The last comment here saying he should be on the bench. He might be better impact. Yes, I mean, that might be true, yeah. You
I,
know,
I, I expect when Ganacho comes back, unless Marcus lights the world afire
mhm,
against Liverpool,
yeah.
that is going to be the reality. That
Mhm,
that that Gregory has it right.
yeah.
Marcus is going to have to be coming off the bench
Mhm,
until we playing football in the middle of the week. Because right now, on present form,
yeah.
he don't deserve his starting spot.
All right. Well, we have one last segment. This is our around the Premier League segment where we talk about different games that happened over the weekend. Um, I would like to talk about a few games. Man City 4, Ipswich Town 1. I'm gonna say
You want to talk about how much games?
just a few. You can pick and choose. You can pick
I
your
have a
game.
pressing engagement to go to, Robbie. So you need to make it quick.
All right, fair enough. Well, um, I want to talk about the just two games. Man City 4, Ipswich Town 1. Man City officially is the most boring team in the world. That I mean I watched that game and it was highly boring. It was the most boring 4-1 ever. These men just pass and pass and pass the ball until the game just became dull. It was like watching a computer playing football. It was just a boring game, and then today had a very unique game. Wolves versus Chelsea. Even though it ended Wolves 2, Chelsea 6, at least for the first half, it was 2-all. 4 goals in the first half, and it was a really true, but it was a true end-to-end game. It was. I mean, this takes two to me doesn't sell the story of the whole game. It was closer than the score said. So I will say that those are two games to me that stood out. Over the weekend. But we have come to the end of the show. Thanks very much to President Chad for coming through. Thanks to everybody in the comments, for coming on. And as per usual, like the video, share the video, um, spread the word, and we will be back again next week for our next match review, and look forward to more videos coming soon. You know, so on behalf of
And
myself,
special guests. Look forward to special guests.
yes, yeah, boy, yeah, I ain't gonna lie. I think we may get cancelled this year. I think so. I think this the year that we may get cancelled. So if we do, blame President Chad. Those are his friends, they're not mine. You understand? So on behalf of President Chad and myself, as we always say, Red Devils, we don't die, we multiply.